Hello everyone, I'm NTom64,
And I'm Datai.
and welcome to the Hellfire Comms playthrough of Super Mario 3D Land.
So, Super Mario 3D Land is basically the first 3DS Mario game that tries to blend the 2D Super Mario Land games from the Game Boy era and kind of the Galaxy kind of gameplay from the Wii to mixed results.
Bit of a new Super Mario Bros. Twist thrown in there as well.
Right? Something like that. And I think it worked out overall pretty well, you know?
I think it's a good game, a tad on the forgettable side though.
I would say there isn't much that sticks with me, but it's fun while I'm playing. Anyway, look at that toad. Look at all those toads.
Nintendo have really taken a liking to the Toads over the past few years. I hear the latest Paper Mario game is just full of them.
Yeah, see, I liked them before they were cool.
You goddamn Mario hipster.
Anyway, Princess Peach is kidnapped. What a surprise. What are we gonna do?
You know, I don't have a problem with that kind of plot device, but you think they could find, like, a new thing to get Mario started on an adventure.
Yeah, we could kidnap somebody else.
Kidnap Luigi. I mean, he goes missing in most of these 3D games nowadays. Okay, explain a bit about the core gameplay for us, please.
So basically, you move Mario around in a 3D environment like you would most other 3D Mario games. You have jumping, you have hitting blocks, you have all the standard Mario things that you've come to expect. It doesn't really throw any curveballs.
Yeah, instead of full analog movement though, they decided to go with, it's kind of like 8-directional movement using the circle pad. It takes a bit of getting used to.
Sometimes you can't really do exactly what you want to do, but it's a lot better than using a D-pad for like Mario 64 DS or whatever.
I didn't really have so much of a problem with that. I had more of a problem trying to use like the thumb pad thing on the touchscreen.
Right, I never even attempted that, so...
Yeah, and Stardust Control, get the hell out of here. These star coins you see here, basically you need these to actually unlock later levels in the game. So it's kind of like collecting stars, but not really.
It's kind of like the Comet medals in Mario Galaxy 2, but a little different, because there are like 3 of them each level. And the requirements for the star coins are a lot more strict later on. For now, you can avoid them if you're lazy. But you'll have to get them eventually.
As you can see, I'm using the raccoon suit here. Nintendo, for some reason, decided to model the whole game's aesthetics after after Super Mario Bros. 3, you know, with like the leaves and whatnot.
Well, it's 3D Land, so clearly I had to choose Mario 3. But yeah, you got all those like colored blocks, you have the Tanuki suit, you have a couple other things later on, some musical stuff going on.
Definitely, yeah. Going back to the whole subtitle thing, I thought it would take a bit of Land's gameplay style, but no, it's mostly New Super Mario Bros. Meets 3, with a bit of Galaxy thrown in.
Right, I never played the Land games back in the day, so I'm not sure I would even recognize gameplay elements, but the levels are certainly more linear than other 3D Mario games, so you could say that is sort of a reference. I was especially disappointed when I found out this wasn't actually the first or the third Mario game with Land in the title, because otherwise it would be too perfect.
Now, I never played with the 3D on for the most part, because it really didn't do anything for me, and it kind of distracted me more than anything.
See, I thought it looked nice. Generally, it didn't do much outside of very specific sections, like that bonus box or whatever that we encountered a bit earlier. Generally, it doesn't do much for me gameplay-wise, it's just nice to look at. Like, I think they were sort of going the direction of, oh, you have 3D vision, platforming will be slightly easier, but I didn't really find that to be the case.
I don't know whether it's just because my eyesight's getting poorer as I get older, but again, with it turned on, I felt I was missing more jumps than I was landing.
I don't know, I just missed a lot of jumps in general.
Are you not very good at 3D platformers?
I'm not very good at 3D platformers. I'm a lot better at, like, the Mario Galaxy games, because you have the spin to kind of correct yourself, but here you generally don't have that. You do have the Tanuki suit a lot, which can help, but
I was actually playing Mario Galaxy recently, and I forgot how much I missed the spin when I was playing this.
I know, right? I should play the Galaxy games again. I haven't played those in like a year. Far too long. Now, I don't know what you're doing not killing the Goombas there in the most stylish way possible. You're supposed to stomp through all of them at once.
Hey man, if you've got fireballs, you use fireballs, okay?
Fireballs are just so 1980s.
Yeah. I've kind of, like, gone off Fire Mario at this point, especially after how awkwardly he controlled in the Galaxy games.
Right. Well, I should note that those Koopas there, rather, do have an infinite life glitch associated with them. If you constantly stomp a shell between your feet and the wall, you can rack up a combo and just get infinite lives.
Just like in the classic games.
Right. And since it's in the second level, you should never ever have troubles with lives in this game.
Well, for the first half of this game, you shouldn't really have problems with lives. It's not really the most hard or, challenging of Mario games, to be honest.
Right. They want you to be able to pick it up and beat a level on a bus ride or something, so... Now, what's the deal with the flagpoles? Can you explain that a bit?
There's a certain point in the game where you will need to have collected all gold flagpoles. Like, if you land on the top just here, you will get the gold flagpole instead of the regular one. And honestly, this is why you should always be wearing the raccoon suit, because I found, just due to the controls and whatnot, it's kind of hard to jump onto the top of a flagpole sometimes.
Right, and they do make it more difficult for you later on with certain obstacles.
Yeah, most of the time it's not as simple as just ride a platform up and then, do a long jump onto the top of the flagpole. Right, and
I never really got a feel for Mario's, jump arc in this game, so I would often just miss it.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well. Because it doesn't use full analog movement, if you tilt the circle pad, you won't break out into a run. That's assigned to a button this time.
I mean, I can see why they did that. It bugged me in certain games, but here I wouldn't try to do fine control with the circle pad, so...
Yeah. Now, the mystery boxes are pretty cool, because I think they appear at random, more so if you street pass with people.
Right, I think if you meet somebody on Street Pass, you're guaranteed to get one. They might just respawn randomly otherwise. I don't really know. But they're, I don't think they're a reliable source of power-ups, but they're certainly appreciated.
This is a neat little addition. Kind of pointless, just zooming in and whatnot. At least it gives you a nice view of the level.
Right, it lets you scout out things in the future, so I guess if you're trying to plan things, which I don't know why you would. The draw distance isn't really well enough, or far enough, to see all the star coins and stuff, so you can't really see where you're going, but...
It's a very tricky mechanic, though, because sometimes you will need to use it to spy a Toad, or he won't throw out a star coin.
Right, he's a greedy little jerk like that.
Yeah. Calm down there, Mario, Jesus.
That's a lot of coins right there.
Have you played New Super Mario Bros. 2?
No, I have not. I have been rather sparing on my purchases recently.
Personally, I just don't really see the point of it. It just looks like New Super Mario Bros. With lots of coins, and if we're at the point, we're probably not going to cover New Super Mario Bros. 2, so I'll say it here. If we're at the point where coins are like a bullet point on the back of a box for a Mario game, there needs to be some serious innovation in the series.
I mean, I heard Mario Brothers U was, good, but also not very innovative.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at that psychedelic note block there. Note blocks were, I think, Mario 3 reference again? And then psychedelic ones shoot you off into the sky, way up high.
Yeah, star coins can be hidden here as well.
And I noticed watching through the videos, most of the time they just give you invincibility to kill things when you get sent up like that.
It's more of a chill-out area than anything.
I do overall like this area having kind of the downward descent kind of feel rather than a super flat level like a lot of the levels.
And this is where the raccoon suit comes in handy.
Oh yes, yeah, for sure. I would say it's almost harder to land, like, when you're looking straight down at something rather than on the side.
Again, if you don't have the 3D on, the perspective can be very odd.
Now, there's a black question box up here. I think this is our first time when we need a certain number of star coins to unlock the level.
Again, it's just a different way of, you know, unlocking levels. Like in Mario 64, if you didn't have enough stars, a door would remain locked. Here, the box just won't turn into a level.
You can also get a little preview of what the level's like there, just looking at there.
What does that remind me of? It'll come to me.
I mean, it's kind of like the Mario Galaxy games where the Galaxy icons, or at least Galaxy 2, looked like the level in miniature. So this one's based around these, like, I don't know what I want to call them, directional platforms? Something like that. You stand on one side to go one direction, stand on the other side to go the other direction, and it gets more complex from there.
Now, you may notice this music as being from another Mario game. There aren't that many original tunes in 3D Land. I mean, the title theme is different, the final boss theme is different, but they reuse and remix a lot of the older tracks, especially from the Galaxy games.
And this one, of course, is Mario 3, because everything has to be Mario 3.
You know, I don't mind Mario 3, but my first Mario game was All-Stars plus World, and I always played World more than any other game on that compilation.
See, my first Mario game was 64, so I liked Galaxy 2.
Not a bad game to start out with.
So there are mystery boxes in levels themselves.
There won't always be star coins inside, but it's worth investigating because you get loads of coins, power-ups and whatnot. Although, to be honest, if you have a raccoon suit and a leaf in reserve, you don't really need any other power-ups.
Unless you're bad and just keep getting hit like I do. But really, having a raccoon suit lets you skip so much of so many levels and makes things so much easier. They become noticeably more sparing with them later on.
It's basically the easy mode of Super Mario 3D Land, and while it is appreciated, I would have preferred if the controls were a bit more refined, you know, a bit more analog, if you will.
I mean, call it easy mode, but I probably couldn't have beaten certain levels later on without it, so you know the one. And one last way to work in the directional platform automatic conveyor thingy.
Yep, we'll come up with a name of it by the end of this playthrough, don't you worry.
Somebody in the comments will think of something.
Yeah.
So next up we have shroom houses, which I think are like mystery boxes, but without even pretending to have a challenge in them.
Well, these are basically the Toad houses, again, from Super Mario Bros. 3.
And if you listen closely, the music is the P-switch music from what I assume introduced in Mario 3.
Everything is from Mario Bros. 3, Jesus Christ.
So it adds the idea of it's kind of a timeout sort of thing. And then at the end of each world, you'll have some sort of final boss-ish level. Sometimes it's a Bowser Castle, sometimes it's something else. But they're usually my favorite levels in the world, I've noticed.
They are pretty well designed, yeah.
I especially like the castle levels, because I think they have the strongest aesthetic in the game, because they're like cool music that I honestly would love to hear orchestrated. Like there's lava, and there's fire, and evil things.
It just looks great. It reminds me of something from Galaxy, because the Bowser levels in Galaxy were probably some of the best in the franchise.
I love that they're all destroyed, too. Look at that.
Well, it's probably just in the process of building them, and then Mario comes along and is like, fucks everything up.
And these levels feature the return of most of Bowser's kind of classic baddies. We've got Podoboos there, we've got Dry Bones, which are jerks. We've got Hammer Brothers, which anyone who's played Mario 1 has nightmares about.
Oh god, don't remind me of Hammer Bros, especially from the perfect run in Galaxy 2.
Oh dear.
I nearly had a heart attack upon completing that challenge.
Right, that probably took me, I don't know, 5 hours to beat. And yet I didn't have a Tanuki suit to make things easier.
True. Now, we haven't brought this up yet, but if you look in the top right, there's a countdown timer. Unless you're playing one of the time challenges, it really doesn't hinder you that much.
Right, it'll add to your score a little bit at the end of the level if you beat things quickly, but if you are having trouble with the timer, something's wrong.
Yeah, it just adds to the whole, like, linearity of things. It didn't really sit well with me at first, then I just kind of, like, got over it and just, you know, played the game for what it was rather than what it could have been.
Yeah, I guess part of the idea is that it forces you to keep moving rather than waddling around looking for star coins for the entire thing, and keeps you, like, energized, but I don't know. Anyway, there's Bowser, making trouble. These are probably my favorite parts of my favorite levels. Because you gotta keep moving, gotta keep dodging his fireballs.
Bowser looks great in this game.
Oh yeah, he does. Especially like his new tail. It's a great fashion decision there.
Well, as you will see, this may be an imposter.
What? Impossible.
A ruse.
He has spikes on his tail, that's hilarious.
Why install a self-destruct... whatever, you know. Been like 20 years now, you think he'd learn?
Yeah, that's a reference to Mario 1, of course, where you have to kind of run under him and hit a hammer to launch him into the lava.
Wasn't it an axe?
An axe, whatever. I never beat that game either.
I wasn't very good at the old 2D Marios, apart from World.
And then, these have an extra special big flag.
Oh yes, and these look especially nice when all lit up and golden. And there you go, World 1 of Super Mario 3D Land complete.
Excellente. Confetti and everything.
Okay, we're done here. See you next time for World 2. Bye bye for now.
See you guys.